Our principal, Dr. Shiv Kumar, is already there.
Yeah, and I think Dr. Agarwal is also there.
Good morning.
Welcome, welcome, Dr. Shiv. Welcome, Dr. Agarwal.
Welcome, Dr. Agarwal. Welcome, Dr. Shiv.
Can you hear me? I am audible.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Professor Dinesh Singh is not here yet.
No, we can't see him yet. He is not here yet.
3 minutes are still there.
Yeah.
He'll join.
Vipin, have you shared the YouTube link on the group Telegram?
Yes, we are live, ma'am. Yeah, I'm sure.
That link, I think, hasn't.
Vipin, my video is not starting.
Dr. Shiv को भी co-host बना दीजिए, Vipin. Dr. Shiv, and also you make them the co-host now. Otherwise, the video will not come.
Yeah, ma'am. Done.
I cannot start my video because it is
Sir,
आप try करो. अभी try करो.
अब try करो, हो जाएगा.
Yes.
Is done, sir? हाँ.
Thank you.
ठीक है.
Sir, you can also check, Principal sir.
Okay. I have asked Professor Dinesh Singh to join.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Good.
I think Dr. Shiv, your video is still not
Video is
on.
not coming. Huh.
Please check for your video. Your video is not coming.
It's now also.
Yeah, now it's come.
Good morning, Dr. Shiv. Welcome.
Good morning, sir. Good morning. Very good morning.
How are you?
Fine, sir.
Good. What is your subject, sir?
My subject is mathematics.
Are wow, good. You are a mathematician, so we have called a mathematician.
I am happy that Professor Dinesh Singh is here today.
Oh, okay, very good.
He is my teacher.
Are great.
डॉक्टर साहब ये वीडियो जरा मेरा खुलवा दीजिए.
Okay, sir. Okay. निधि.
Yes, sir. विपिन एक बार दिनेश सर का वीडियो देख लो.
प्रोफेसर दिनेश सिंह का वीडियो खुलवाइए.
Could you try now?
हो गया. नमस्कार.
Good morning and welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Good to see you, sir. Always we trouble you and you find time for us.
Good morning, sir. Shiv Kumar here.
कैसे हो शिव?
ये सर हमने नई जोड़ी बनाई है.
शिव और हमारी बड़ी पुरानी दोस्ती है.
हाँ, यही इसीलिए मैं कह रहा हूँ.
My teacher, sir.
वो अभी बता रहे थे कि आपने उनको पढ़ाया है, तो मैंने कहा हमने नई जोड़ी ट्रायंगल बना दिया है.
शिव जो है is one of the most energetic persons that I know.
Excellent, sir.
आज का थीम है ये लर्निंग एंड क्रिएटिंग मूक्स.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Online learning, online teaching, and creating MOOCs, sir.
अच्छा.
We are ready. If we are ready, Nidhi, we
Yes,
can
sir.
start.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ankita,
Dr.
Ankita, you
Ankita?
can start. Yeah.
Yes.
Dr. Ankita, please start.
Good morning, everyone. Professor Dinesh Singh, former Vice Chancellor, University of Delhi, our esteemed guest for today. Dr. Shiv Kumar Sahdev, Principal, Shivaji College. Dr. S.P. Agarwal, Principal, Ramanujan College. Seniors, colleagues, and participants joining us from all over the country. It gives me great pleasure to welcome you all to the 1-week online faculty development program on ICT Enhanced Teaching, Learning and Creating MOOCs, a program for teachers, academicians and researchers organized by Shivaji College under the aegis of IQAC in collaboration with the Teaching Learning Center and Research Development and Services Cell, Ramanujan College. The program is under the aegis of Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya National Mission on Teachers and Teaching that was launched by the Ministry of Human Resource Development in 2017. One of the main objectives of this mission is to facilitate teacher training by constituting teaching learning centers in various institutions of higher education in our country. We are very honored today, sir, to have you with us, Professor Dinesh Singh, Chancellor K.R. Mangalam University, to encourage us for this new learning experience we are going to embark upon. Professor Singh was bestowed with the Padma Shri, one of India's highest civilian awards by the President of India in recognition of distinguished service in the field of literature and education in 2014. A man with a humble demeanor, an exemplary orator, he has primarily focused on empowering the youth of today via educational reforms throughout his career. It is a matter of great pride and pleasure that we at Shivaji College are celebrating our landmark 60th year. Our aim is to work towards our vision of transform one life, transform the nation by reaching out to the world through digital channels and through real life community interactions. The current unprecedented pandemic has instilled a wave of learning and teaching amongst educators all over the world using the online mode of dispensing knowledge. With the introduction of the national education policy by the government, stress is being laid on creating more opportunities with the use of technologies and online platforms to proceed with unhindered flow of knowledge. Shivaji College has left no stone unturned to smoothly adapt to this new mode of education, and all efforts are being made by the faculty to bring about holistic development of our students, even in the absence of physical interaction. Educational institutes all over the country are making their faculty competent in this new mode of tutoring to become high quality online content creators. All of these efforts are in the direction of fulfilling the dream of digital India. Massive open online courses, MOOCs, are in high demand as they are self-paced. They provide options for unlimited enrollment, goal-oriented, and easy to access as they are being delivered online. The focus of these programs is to blend learning, working, and collaborating locally, globally, as well as universally. They are truly game changers in today's world of education due to their ease in access, low cost involved, and unlimited participation. This is Shivaji College's first initiative to focus on this very upcoming theme of MOOCs that relies on connectedness over the globe and personal enrichment of all our participants. Our aim is to conduct this program is to change how we look at lifelong learning and connecting with people all over by delivering information using ICT tools. And we have received an overwhelming number of more than 1,100 participants for the event. We hope that through these sessions, which can be attended with ease, a feeling of connectedness can be achieved between educational institutes and faculties, and it validates the process of learning and the use of analytics to acquire knowledge. The participants would be able to successfully create e-content, be abreast with advanced concepts in online teaching modules, and be able to develop their own MOOCs. Our dynamic principal, Dr. Shiv Kumar Sehdev, has spearheaded these initiatives at Shivaji College as we have ventured into this era of disseminating education via ICT tools. And he has thoroughly encouraged our faculty to adapt to these new methodologies as well. I invite Dr. Shiv Kumar Sehdev to say a few words.
Thank you, Ankita. Professor Dinesh Singh, Dr. S.P. Agarwal, esteemed participants, my dear colleagues. I am very happy that we have organizing this course in collaboration with the Teaching Learning Center of Ramanujan College. And I, on behalf of Shivaji College, welcome all the participants, all my esteemed guests in this inaugural session. This pandemic has taught us new ways to go for blending learning. And we have adopted this online teaching in our coursework. And I'm sure that for the time being, we have to live with this. And the main motive behind this course was to make our faculty more comfortable with the uses of new technology we have with us. And as we know that MOOCs means the massive online courses. And I'm sure that once finishing this, after finishing this course, all the participants will be able to manage their online teaching in a more effective and fruitful manner. And they will be able to create their own e-content, and they will be able to create their own, develop their own MOOCs. And I'm happy, and my best wishes to all the participants. And I'm sure that this will be a happy journey for all of us together. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir, for your encouragement. I now invite my colleague from Ramanujan College, Dr. Nidhi, to take over the proceedings.
Thank you, Dr. Ankita. A very good morning to our chief guest, Padma Shri Professor Dinesh Singh, sir, Chancellor, K.R. Mangalam University, Dr. S.P. Agarwal, sir, Principal, Ramanujan College, Dr. Shiv Kumar Sehdev, sir, Principal, Shivaji College, my organizing members from Shivaji College and Ramanujan College, and dear participants who have joined from all across India. I, Nidhi Mathur, on behalf of Ramanujan College, once again welcome you all to this one-week faculty development program on ICT enhanced teaching, learning, and creating MOOCs, jointly organized by Teaching Learning Center, Ramanujan College, and Shivaji College. With the onset and advancement of technology, the concept of e-learning is fast gaining pace and momentum, thus making it widely acceptable by people from all walks of life. Owing to the COVID-19 pandemic, which has resulted in the temporary closure of educational institutions across the globe, e-learning is one arena which has remained unaffected and instead has witnessed an exponential increase in it. More so with the Ministry of Education, erstwhile MHRD, Government of India, launching an initiative like Digital and Bharat and Digitize India about the need for online education. It is the need of the hour for all educational institutions to facilitate dissemination of knowledge through e-resources. Someone very rightly said, if you want to teach people a new way of thinking, give them a tool, the use of which will lead to new ways of thinking. True to its potential, Ramanujan College, under the stewardship of our principal, Sir, Dr. S.P. Agarwal, has conducted more than 16 online FDPs through its Teaching Learning Center, under Pandit Madan Mohan Malaviya National Mission on Teachers and Teaching Scheme of Ministry of Education, erstwhile MHRD, thus imparting training to more than 30,000 teachers. Being in a state of complete isolation has taken a toll not only on our physical and mental well-being, but has also resulted in monotony and boredom. There is a vast difference between e-learning and e-training, where the former imparts knowledge, the latter inculcates practical and hands-on experience to the learners. This very FDP aspires to bridge the gap, leading to a wholesome and well-rounded personality of academicians. The course outline for this FDP has been created by experts who are proficient in their respective fields and have taken into consideration those faculty members also who are not well versed with online platforms and softwares. So before I move forward, I would like to read out a few rules for this FDP. Rule number 1. There will be a quiz after every session that needs to be attempted by all the participants. So the purpose of this quiz is to assess the knowledge about the topics that have been covered. These quizzes shall account for 60% of the total number of quizzes. Rule number 2. At the end of every session, participants will have to fill up an online feedback form. Rule number 3. There will be assignments after every session that account for 80% of the total number of given assignments. But we would still recommend that participants should submit all their assignments to promote understanding of their subject knowledge. Rule number 4. A final online quiz which will cover all the topics throughout the FDP will be conducted on the last day, in which participants need to secure a minimum of 40%, the last and the most important rule. As the workshop is being organized under the most prestigious Pandit Madan Mohan Malaviya National Mission on Teachers and Teaching Scheme, we at TLC Ramanujan College give prime importance to willing and serious participants who are eager to learn. In this context, it should be noted that e-certificates will be awarded to only those participants who fulfill the above criteria. Moving on, our principal, Dr. S.P. Agarwal, will be welcoming all of you. A brief profile about our principal. Dr. S.P. Agarwal, Principal Ramanujan College, University of Delhi, is a dynamic visionary, exemplary leader, outstanding administrator, passionate researcher, and a motivational teacher and mentor. As an administrator and leader, he has brought about a paradigm change in the functioning of Ramanujan College, erstwhile Deshbandhu Evening College, by being at the forefront of establishing structures, systems, and processes, implementing creative and innovative ideas, and leading by example. As a result of his guidance and concrete efforts, the college got an A-grade accreditation from NAC. I welcome you, sir. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Nidhi. Thank you for the nice words. First of all, good morning and welcome to our dignitaries and learned participants who have joined us in large numbers. And we are really thankful to all the participants. I think more than 1,100, as I have been told, that in each and every program which we organize, we get very, very large number. Let me tell you that this program on ICT and MOOCs is not the first one. This is, I think, the 9th or 10th program which we are organizing. And as Nidhi told you, that more than 30,000 teachers have already been trained in ICT and development of e-content and MOOCs. Our own Padma Shri Professor Dinesh Singh, not only a former Vice Chancellor and Chancellor K.R. Mangalam University, he's a multifaceted, multi-dimensional personality. We always recall him, and he is available for us. It is the fortune of this institution and Delhi University that such a good administrator, academician, and a researcher is with us. Dr. Shiv Kumar, Principal Shivaji College, my colleague from the organizing team, both from Shivaji and Ramanujan College, and dear participants. Once again, welcome on behalf of Teaching Learning Center, Ramanujan College, in this 1 week effort of ICT, enhanced teaching, learning, and creating MOOCs. Friends, as has been told that our purpose in all these FDPs is to train teachers in new technologies. And during this pandemic, for the last 4 months, our emphasis has been not only training our own colleagues from Delhi University and other colleges, but training the teachers from all over the country. And in a way, it is in our self-interest that we are training ourselves also, because how we got this idea, when ministry gave us National Resource Center to launch a refresher course on ethics, environment, and human rights on SWAM platform, which is Government of India platform. And once they assigned us, we all in this college were kind of apprehensive how we should do it. And everybody was talking that let us have experts from outside, let us do this, that. And the first thing we were supposed to do was to create a 5-minute video so that ministry is satisfied that yes, we have the capability to do it. So everybody raised a finger on me that, sir, you do it. I said, fine, I will do it. So, that's how we started our journey. And it is not that I did the best. Then my colleagues came, young colleagues, and they did the wonderful job, when we encouraged them. So this is how, things move. We have to try our, as Professor Dinesh Singh always said that hands-on training, do it with your own, with on your hands, with your own self. Unless until you do yourself, you will not be able to learn anything. I'm telling you, these courses may be taught to you most practical and hands-on training, but still you have to do yourself. So what we want from this training, that you should be able to create your own MOOCs after 1 week. And we will tell you the procedure. We will tell you each and everything. The trainers are very good. The practical approach is there. Hands-on, how you start will be there. But as I'm telling you that it is your own efforts which will make learning easier. And only then you can disseminate this knowledge to your students. Now, in our topic, we have two things, you can see ICT and MOOCs. And ICT, as you know, is information communication technology. Now, very important thing is that information communication. Now, unless until you have the information, you have the communication tools, you can't do anything. And internet is very, very important. Very important, because in some part of our country, especially in Jammu and Kashmir, the people are suffering because we do not have good internet connectivity. I was just reading a report that more than 75% of our students, I'm not talking about the metros, are not having access to the technology. I'm not saying internet, technology. They don't have laptop, they don't have smartphones through which they can be trained. Because in online teaching, main problem is that we should have the technology. And internet is one, and then hardware is another. So unless until we have these two things, and this is the responsibility of the educational institution and maybe the government to ensure that these technological equipments reach each and every student of the country. I still, I still remember that how when Professor Dinesh Singh came as Vice Chancellor, first thing he did was to give laptop to each and every student. And let me tell you, some of the colleges, including myself, we are using that equipment till today. Of course, it has become redundant, but still, it is a very useful tool. My teachers are using it and my students are using it. Of course, we have to upgrade each and every time. Now, see, another important thing is that massive open online learning. This is not a new concept, friends. This is going all over the world. You see lot of portals on this, especially I can name Coursera.org. You must have heard of it. It's a British-based company which has launched massive courses in each and every area. Similarly, all the good universities, whether it is Harvard, Stanford, or anyone, they have online courses, and most of them are free of cost. What they do is that they offer free of cost, but if you need a certification, of course, you will have to pay. So, and these are on different kind of platforms. See, most of the courses were started on Modella kind of portal, but now EDX portal, which we are using in this institution, we have our own portal EDX, and we are in the process of launching several courses, for the benefit of students on this portal. And any one of you who are interested can come in with your proposal, and we are happy to put it on our portal, because that is the way we can blend the education technology or education knowledge, because unless until we share, we cannot do justice to our students. And on that line itself, that is why we collaborate with each and every institution, whether of Delhi University or outside that, so that we can increase our potential of doing the things for the benefit of society. Now, similarly, now once we have discussed all these important points, now basically developing the e-content in the respective field is a very important tool. Now, see, one thing is very important in this, that at least we can't do the we cannot compromise the academic ethics, or you call it plagiarism. See, basically, if everything is on the portal, everything is in the public domain, you can't, you have to be very careful. I can give you an example that, what happened was that most of our programs today, also we are live on YouTube. What happened was that we run a Saraswati Vandana in one program, and that was live on YouTube. And Saraswati Vandana was taken from somebody's portal. Now they immediately warned us that this is a copyright violation. So we have to be very, very careful while doing this. And I'm glad that now teachers will be more responsive once this online teaching will be very, very popular, and we will able to be we will able to do justice on this account. Now, creating MOOCs, and then the assessment. See, first thing is that you develop your courses, and how you develop your courses, always I can say briefly a few points. That suppose you are doing it in mathematics or in statistics, maybe sometimes we assume that it should be of very, very high quality, high things. It should be simple, very simple, and it should be module based, 5 to 6 modules in a course, not more than that. And then the assessment criteria. So if we follow that thing, that let us be simple, let us understand the perspective of the student, because we are not making it more for advanced learners. We are doing it for general learners. But yes, we can always do for advanced learners also. But let us start with simple programs, and as I said, split in 5, 6, 7 units, and that's it. And you can have on specialized areas, like suppose we are getting into programming, maybe on Java, maybe on Python, maybe on machine learning, maybe on artificial intelligence, maybe on data analysis. Like we have been doing a lot of work with Professor Dinesh Singh on Excel and other data analytic tools like R. So all these things can be done through these portal. And another important aspect is that it should be outcome based learning, because we have to be very careful, today, that what will be the outcome of what we are doing. Let us say we are doing this program. We should be very specific that what is the outcome. So that is very, very important from the point of view of the learner. Similarly, I can say that, in online teaching, you can do a lot of innovations. See, I was seeing a TV about 2 weeks ago that a Malipuram, a small place, a school teacher was taking a lesson, and she was using, I think, augmented reality, and just much better than a classroom setup. See, everything was, shown practically, whether if galaxy is being shown, sky is shown, and if the historical monument is taught, then monument is shown. So all these things are very important when we innovate online teaching, because most of the time our teachers are scared and they don't have the required material for online teaching, because 1 hour of online teaching requires you to have at least 3 hours of material. It is not a simple thing. And then another important thing is the fatigue of online teaching. You need to be very careful. In my institution, my teachers are saying that, sir, you have allocated very few lectures to us. I said, don't worry. We don't want that student should be taught for 5 hours in a day. No, I just want 2 to 3 hours teaching. And similarly, I want you to relax, do the quality work. Don't get into that, okay, we have to give 5 lectures for a discipline course or 6 lectures. So take 6 lectures and doing nothing. No, I want 3 lectures should be taken, and that's it. I think that is more than sufficient on an online teaching module. So with this, I don't have more time here, but thank you very much once again to Professor Dinesh Singh and to Shivaji College for joining hands with us. We are always eager, as I said. And let me tell you, Professor Dinesh Singh, there was a time when we wanted collaborations, but nobody used to take us. But today, everybody is looking for collaboration with us. So it is your blessings and fortunate situation of this institution that we are able to do so much. With this, once again, I welcome all the participants, and they are asset to us. And I believe you will learn something out of it, and you will be able to create your own MOOCs. And you can be in touch with us all the time, and we will guide you each and every field. Another important thing I missed was that, see, online teaching today can be done with various open source modules. There are a lot of things, like we started in the pandemic with Zoom, but the problem is Zoom is a paid thing. And, there was some apprehension that it is a Chinese product and all those things. But now there are a lot of products. Then today in our institution, we have made it compulsory that we will be using Microsoft Teams, which is a very powerful, tool, and can do each and everything. And what happened, my Hindi people said that, sir, we cannot do it in Hindi. No, we devised a situation, and our experts told them that you do these changes and it can be taught in Hindi. So my viewpoint here is that we will be launching several courses on that, and we might have one lecture here in this program also. Our team is expert in that area, and if you will use it uniformly, I tell you, this is a powerful tool of online teaching. You can take your attendance, recording, everything can be done through that software. And I was really fascinated with this. So with this, once again, welcome and thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. You have always encouraged and motivated us to strive harder in our future endeavors. Moving on, we have amongst us an extremely talented, versatile, intellectual, and an astute scholar. Words actually fall short to describe his illustrious career, meritorious background, and his charismatic personality. Padma Shri Professor Dinesh Singh Sir, former Vice Chancellor, University of Delhi, and currently serving as Chancellor in K.R. Mangalam University, is a distinguished mathematician and educationist. He has studied at St. Stephen's College, and holds a PhD from the Imperial College of Science, Technology and Medicine, London, which is ranked amongst the top 10 universities globally. He is a distinguished senior fellow at Advanced Hackspace, adjunct professor at Imperial College and University of Houston. Sir has been awarded the Padma Shri, one of the highest civilian awards of the Government of India, by the President in the year 2014. Professor Dinesh Singh has also been conferred honorary doctorates for his work as a mathematician and an educationist by the University of Edinburgh, the National University of Ireland, the University of Houston, and the National Institute of Technology, Kurukshetra. An avid painter, acclaimed public speaker, and a student of Gandhian philosophy, Professor Dinesh Singh Sir has published numerous mathematical research papers in international journals, and his mathematical work is cited in several books, monographs, and papers. Sir, it is my utmost privilege and pleasure to introduce you again in less than a week. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Ankita and Nidhi, for the kind words that you have said about me. And I must express deep appreciation to my friend and former colleague, Dr. Agarwal, who is an amazing person. I don't know whether he ever sleeps at night or not, because he's always up and about, always creating new activities. That is why his college has done so well.
Sir, I always take 8 hours sleep.
I don't know when you sleep, but it doesn't look like you sleep. You're always active. And my close friend and also student and Guru Bhai both. You know, Sadev Shiv, he has been a friend of mine. When I started my teaching career, he was a student, but he took his PhD with Professor Subhash Arora, who had taught me in my master's. When I was an MSc student, Professor Arora taught me. And so Shiv and I have many kinds of connections. We have Guru Bhais. He's also been my student, and he was my colleague at Delhi University. So it's a pleasure to connect with all of you. I also sometimes wonder, Professor Dr. Agarwal places a huge amount of faith in me, and he seems to think that I may have something reasonable or worthwhile to say. And every time I come on such an occasion when I connect, I know one thing for sure. I'm not sure what I give, but when I exit such an event, I leave a wiser person. Even today, I was listening with great attention to what Dr. Agarwal was saying. And there was much there that he has said, which I strongly believe in. And I honestly say this, I don't think there is much else left for me to say. So I think it will help each participant, it will help all of us if we pay attention closely to the ideas that Dr. Agarwal has set forth today. They are really worthwhile. And I believe all these sessions are recorded. So presumably participants may be able to review these sessions over time, as many times as they like, and that will be to their advantage. The session, as I have understood, is about online learning, distance learning, MOOCs, so on and so forth. And the best way to make sure that this happens productively. And you know, I'll tell you something very interesting but straightforward. Technology is not something that we should think of in a fashion that it intimidates us. There is really nothing to it as long as we sit back and understand what is good learning all about. If you think carefully, good learning, or you could say good teaching practices, have very little to do with what sort of platform you're using. if you understand the basic essentials, then no matter what platform you use, whether you're inside a classroom, whether you're out on the roadside, whether you're on a technology-enabled platform such as this, it will make no difference to you. And there's something very important that Dr. Agarwal said in the middle of his talk, and I hope each one of you has picked that up. He has emphasized that we must keep things simple. There is a saying in Hindi, saralta mein prabhuta hai. There is divinity in simplicity. The problem with most of us, and all of us are mostly prone to this weakness, in our eagerness, we sometimes complicate things. We start doing too much. Believe me, go to the heart of the matter. If you understand the heart of the matter, and let me tell you what it means when I say go to the heart of the matter. You know, long ago, there was this business of the state of Hyderabad just after independence, when the state of Hyderabad under the rule of the Nizam was rebellious and was not willing to come under India's dominion. And there was much debate. There was all kinds of complications coming in. As I have understood from people who witnessed the cabinet meeting that took place, in the cabinet meeting of the government of India, they were all present and people were speaking about this and that, the United Nations will intervene and how will we do, should we send the army, what will happen if Pakistan attacks, so on. Sardar Patel was quiet. When everybody had spoken, he just said something straightforward and simple, to the point. He cut to the heart of the matter. He said, we cannot afford to let Hyderabad go away. It is in the heart of India. That is clear. We need to have it with us. And the only way, because the Nizam refuses to listen to us and he has created an army that is creating havoc there. Tonight at 12, our police will march into Hyderabad. That was a euphemism for the army, and we will take it over. And the meeting ended. And next morning, Hyderabad was part of India. My point is this: cut to the chase, get to the bone, get to the heart of the matter, and everything else will fall into place. If you look at the Rig Veda, to my mind, I always cite the Rig Veda as the first MOOC in the world. It was massive, it was open, and in one sense, it was online. In other words, it was using the technology available at that time, the oral tradition. It got written much later. Have you ever asked yourself that what was it about the Rig Veda that this marvelous book, this piece of knowledge, this piece of great wisdom from Kashmir to Kanyakumari and from all the way Maharashtra in the west to all the way to Assam and beyond in the east, it permeated and was blessing all of India in undiluted form. You go to any Vedshala today, or if you had been alive in those days, had you visited any Vedshala, any part of India, the Rig Veda was learned, taught, and practiced without deviation. There are no two versions of the Rig Veda. There are no two versions. Everybody memorized the Rig Veda exactly as it had been sent down. My point is, have we ever pondered to think, have we pondered on what was it, what was the magic of the Rig Veda, that without any of these so-called modern technological tools, India could imbibe it in undiluted, unadulterated fashion? And if you think closely, you will understand. One, it has marvelous ideas. There are great ideas of practice in the Rig Veda. I am forever fond of quoting one of the opening stanzas of the Rig Veda. Ano bhadra kritavo yantu vishvata. Let noble thoughts come to us from every direction. Just think about this. What can be more marvelous? Who will not like this? This openness of mind. this willingness to embrace good things. That is so heartening. Naturally, you will take to it. But there are other great things in the Rig Veda. That's the first part. The second part, they understood what was the pedagogical principle that would allow it to be imbibed in undiluted, unadulterated fashion by everyone. So when they constructed the richas of the Rig Veda, they used the best practices available, the chands, the meters that were created, the incantations, the way you are supposed to recite, all those are perfectly prescribed. And therefore, there is no possibility of dilution or adulteration. Those are the pedagogical principles. Do you think it would be easy to memorize a book of the depth of the Rig Veda with so much in it? But it has always been done. Why? Because they constructed the richas in a specific fashion. And the way they are chanted is prescribed with precision. So they had cut to the chase and they ensured that the pedagogical principles allowed it to be imbibed across the length and breadth of India. That's the key. That's the thing we should understand. There was no technology and yet it was imbibed all across India. It was a massive open course. That's what we need to do. And let me narrate a simple experience that I had in 1992. I was just starting out my career at the University of Delhi. I was a lecturer here. And I was asked to give on Doordarshan National 6 live lectures on school mathematics of the 12th grade to test a new satellite transmission technology that Doordarshan had just bought from the United States. And I decided to teach the calculus of the 12th grade. There was no technology available to me. In the studio, I had only 2 cameras. There was a camera facing me and there was a camera above my head. And I used to stand and there was a large table with chart paper, several sheets of chart paper of a large size and 3 colored markers. That's all I had. So there was no great technology the way we look at technology today. 12 classrooms across the country had been enabled so that the students of that classroom could talk to me, they could interrupt my lecture, they could ask me any question they liked at any time. But all of India could watch whatever was happening. So all of India, schools, at home, everywhere, could watch everything live. These 12 classrooms could also talk to me. And I used chart paper and I used things that all mathematicians do. We drew lots of simple pictures and I gave 6 lectures. I remember when I finished my first lecture, some self-appointed experts in mathematics, I was then a simple young lecturer, so they thought they could bully me. They went to the top bosses of Doordarshan and they said, what is he teaching? This is 6th standard mathematics and he's messing up everything. Who have you brought? So on and so forth. And Doordarshan panicked. The top bosses asked to see me. And I told them, you've already put your faith in me. There is very little you can do now. Give me time, you watch what happens, and then we will decide. But believe me, I'm trying to keep things simple. The thing that Dr. Agarwal said, keep things simple. Now let me tell you what happened. I finished my 6 lectures and I had a lovely time because the students were very lively. While teaching, they would interrupt me. They would stop me. And students love to do these things. You know, they want to ask you a question which you cannot answer. And I enjoyed this very much. And then I went away after 6 lectures. 1 month later, Doordarshan sent for me. Can you please come and see us? So I went. I was not sure what was the matter. They took me into a large hall. In the hall, there was no furniture. There were sacks and sacks piled across the floor of the hall. Bore, tied. They told me, this is your fan mail. There was no email in those days. So these were letters that had been posted, snail mail, handwritten letters. Of course, I could not open everything. I must have spent about an hour, 2 hours there. I must have read 100 odd letters, all handwritten and from different parts of India. I remember I had received letters from Kerala, I had received letters from Kashmir, from Assam, from Andhra Pradesh, from Delhi. What was in the letters? Nothing. They asked only 3 things. Why did you stop? Why don't our teachers teach us like this? And for the first time, we have understood and liked calculus. My point is this, what Dr. Agarwal said, keep things simple. I kept them at such a straightforward letter. I still remember there was someone running a tuition center who had written to me that, I've been teaching this topic for so long and I had pain inside me because I never understood why we do what we do in this topic. Now the pain is gone. So it touched people's life. There was no great technology. It was just simple clarity that brought things to the hearts of people. Remember this always. Don't get intimidated and don't overuse technology. But let me also tell you something else. The internet is a huge resource. It is an enormous and powerful resource. I am taking an online course, totally free, nothing, called Harnessing the Power of the Web as a Knowledge Device. And it's a freewheeling course. I have undergraduates enrolled in the program. And we discuss anything and then we say, let's see if we can find it on the internet. Let's see what it has to say. Let's see whether it is authentic or not. Let's see if we can practice it or not. And let me give you an illustration. So in my last discussion, and I don't call it a lecture, don't ever get into this habit that we teachers are so fond of, that we enter a classroom and we start talking. Don't get into this lecture mode. Learning is much more than just talking to the other person. Don't make that mistake. Make it interactive. Never hesitate to tell the student, I don't know, let us find out. Believe me, this is extremely rewarding. The student will never be intimidated by you, and there is no person alive who can say, I know everything. So there is no shame, no embarrassment in saying, let's learn. So in my last interaction, we were discussing whether we can make ice without electrical power. And I said that I have read from long ago, many years ago, I had read historical accounts about how the Mughals in India used to make ice in Delhi itself near Kashmiri Gate in the middle of the winter without electrical power. And then they would store the ice deep inside the earth. And then when summer came, they would open up those places and use the ice to cool their drinks. I asked the students to find out for themselves whether there is anything available on the web on this matter. And then every time we find something, we hold a discussion on whether it is authentic or is someone trying to fool us. That in itself is a huge learning exercise. Then we look at YouTube videos, we look at texts, we look at other sources, other websites. And believe me, I was amazed at how much I learned on ice making without electrical power, not just in the times of the Mughals. In Persia, also in the Middle Ages, they had their own techniques of making ice. Amazing. The students brought this for me. And in modern times, today, there are Israeli scientists experimenting in the deserts of Israel on how to make ice without electrical power. There is so much here. There is physics, there is design, there is economics. This is hands-on, it is transdisciplinary, and it is a journey that we all undertake. Don't convert it into a lecture. Believe me, the traditional form of MOOCs are not delivering. They are not delivering the goods. People are making the mistake of putting the cart before the horse. They are emphasizing too much of technology, and the actual pedagogy has been put into the background. They are not succeeding. The YouTube is a huge learning resource. Every time you wish to engage in a learning interactive program with your students, I urge you, it takes effort, as Dr. Agarwal said, hours of effort. Troll YouTube. If you look at any topic, and if you look at many videos, eventually you will find a bunch of videos that are so clear, so focused, so lovely. I am also working with someone on a technology platform, again for learning purposes. I love doing these experiments. So I decided to see if we could learn Pythagoras' theorem from YouTube. And it has hundreds of videos. It took me some effort, but I could identify 3 marvelous YouTube videos which are better than any learning that you could do in a classroom to learn the theorem of Pythagoras. Believe me. And then as a teacher, you have to build a story around all these resources. I'm not saying that that is the only way. As Dr. Agarwal said, there is no one standard way. You design that which suits you. But remember this, if you don't make it interactive, if you don't make it hands-on, if you don't connect to the real world, it's not going to help you. So keep these principles in mind. Technology today is so easy to handle that when I interact with my students on the web right now, I use many devices in parallel while I am talking to the students through either Microsoft Teams or through Zoom. At the same time, I use my iPad. I have my own drawings, sketchings here on this iPad. I share the screen, takes no effort. I wish to show a video, I link through YouTube live and share that with my students, or I share images over here, whichever way I like. And you can use, there are all kinds of tools. You can use a stylus, an electronic stylus, and write notes if you wish to, show a diagram, do it in color, do so many things. But believe me, none of this will succeed unless you embody the principles that we stated at the beginning. And I assure you, if you keep things simple, work hard before you get into the session. Keep it interactive. I'm repeating myself. Engage your students, create their imagination. I did that also with students, again, of another university, where I asked them to discuss how Alexander fought his battles. What were the ideas of a general? In which ways did he use his tactics to win those battles? And I was amazed at the amount of resources I found on the web. I didn't have to teach. We just learned together. And each one of them is asked in groups to make a presentation on different topics. And because we have such good technology, those presentations, which are interactive, have animation, have text, have voiceover, have video, they are allowed to be imbibed by everyone. Keep experimenting. Do not stagnate. And you will create, finally, your own best practice to create good technology-based learning. I really have nothing more to say beyond that. I'm grateful to Dr. Agarwal, to Shiv, to everybody else here for giving me this platform. And I look forward to great learning happening through such platforms. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thanks a lot for a very enlightening lecture. Over to Nidhi.
Dr. Reshna, please take over for the moderation.
Thank you so much, sir. It's always a pleasure to hear you. So, do we have any questions from the participants or any of the attendees? I think we have...
Vipin, if there are any questions on YouTube or...
So we have bucket full of praises for this wonderful lecture. So it is with such great ease that you connect our history with today's technology and show us how we can actually use our historical examples to create content for our own students, and how so as sir has repeatedly said, that let us get to the heart of the matter and everything else will fall in place. Let us not just complicate things. Let us just be as simple as possible, because there is no use trying to complicate anything, any content. We have to ensure that anything that we say is simply understood by our students. And as sir has rightly said, that it is time that we own the technology to be able to use them with ease for smooth online delivery of our content. It is high time that we started delivering our content, our educational content, and use the technology to be able to smoothly carry on this online process of imparting the education. And also, it is important for us to keep experimenting so that we can create our own good practice and and help our students also to think out of the box and come up with new innovations. And so that was a really, really excellent session that we heard. I think we are all motivated to jump into this development program, and hope we all gain from what you have imparted to us. Thank you all for attending this session today, and thank you, sir, for delivering a very encouraging talk.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Program is over?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. There aren't any questions, so I think we'll wind up.
Okay.
And for all the participants who are here live, we will be posting the videos and all the other content for today by 12 o'clock. So you're requested to continuously watch the portal and access the videos there. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, sir. Thanks, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We are waiting for participants to leave, right? Preeti?
Nidhi?
Nidhi, are we waiting
We
for
can
participants?
we can leave. We can exit
We
the
can
meeting,
leave.
ma'am.
We can exit the meeting. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you all. It was a wonderful session, Nidhi. Very good.
Yes,
Thank you.
ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you,
Thanks.
Ankita. Thank you, Ashna.
Okay,
Very nicely
okay.
done. Thank you, Ankita. Great. Okay. See you then. Bye-bye.